How are y'all doing? I'm at the Moscone Venue Expo. We are at the Aermec stand, as we always are. Every 2 years it's on here. It's basically the biggest trade show in Europe for HVAC equipment. And Aermec unveil all the latest products that they have. This year in particular, due to the F-gas regulations, EN 378, propane is very, very popular. So Aermec obviously has a lot of new product ranges. This one here behind me is the PRN. It's a modular unit. It's 100 kilowatts. There is a maximum, I think, of 5 kilograms for very specific reasons. 5 kilograms of refrigerant volume. If there's more than that, you need a certain amount of minimum technical spaces. That is going to be a big issue. The consulting engineers and the architects need to get glued into the F-gas regulations and be aware that they need the space, typically more space. The beauty about the PRN is you can, because they're a modular unit, you can basically stack them pretty much together. They come with two pipe sections, as you can see at the back, which are basically 1 meter apart. So you can basically stack them 1 meter apart and up to 9 units together. So basically 900 kilowatts. So it's essentially a 900 kilowatt chiller. There is another unit here, the PRG, that is it goes with about 150 kilowatts. Again, we're limited on the capacity that they can make these because the more volume you have, the more minimum technical space you're going to need. So consequently, we're going to find we have more smaller units, and also I think we have 2 refrigerant circuits in all of these as well. Yeah, I'm getting a nod from my colleagues here. Okay, so I'm going to do the rounds here. I'll find out what else is new. Just to show you a couple of things about the propane chillers. Or heat pumps. You can have them chillers or heat pumps. By the way, just to be aware, if it's a chiller, the efficiency is probably about 10% lower than, let's say, R32, for example. But the GWP is obviously lower, hence the reason we're going for propane, or the manufacturer going for propane. So if you like, the direct effect is lower, the GWP, but the indirect effect, the cost of running, is going to be slightly higher. But unfortunately, that's the way the industry is. It's all to do with the legislation, and the manufacturers are governed by the legislation. So look, it is what it is, and that's the way the market is going. The fin spacing, by the way, is 2 millimeters, which is very important because obviously it helps minimise blockages. They also come with grills, protection grills, very important because, again, propane, it's highly flammable, so there's elements of safety that historically you wouldn't have necessarily had. The electrical panel is in a completely separate compartment, whereas before it could have been somewhat connected to your compressor housing, whereas it's completely separate. In the compressor housing, we have electronic leak detectors, and there's actually a little fan. By the way, the fan is the only ATEX rated component. You don't need to have all your motors ATEX rated, even though it's propane, so just so people are aware of that. However, in the compressor housing, it is ATEX rated, the fan, and that's just to circulate. If there's a refrigerant leakage, it'll circulate, and it makes it easier for the leak sensor to pick it up. So that is it, I think. So if you want to just have a look around, Martin, and we'll just show them what they look like. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to ramble around. I'll have a look at some of these other units, and I might do another couple of vlogs before the day is out. Just to add on one final point, which is very important. Aermec are using the Danfoss scroll compressors with the propane, and the reason being, you can get up to 75 degrees Celsius water temperature. So obviously for the heat pumps, that's really good, and we can get up to 75 in an ambient down to -10, which is obviously very good. The chiller, on the chiller side of it, we can get, I believe, down to -10 degrees C supply temperature in an ambient up to 42 degrees C. So obviously for Ireland, it's perfectly fine. So anyway, just wanted to add that on there.